Wow, it's hard to believe we're here again, and we're working on today, if I knew then what I know now. And we have two of the guys I think I know pretty good, and we've had a great relationship with over the years. But we have Ant, and I call him always Ant, but Ant Daniels and Jeffrey Robinson. How y'all doing today?
Doing good.
I'm doing great.
Doing great, all right. So I wanted to invite you all, so welcome first of all. I wanted to invite you all because I remember you all in middle school. I remember you all playing Pop Warner football, and now you all have grown up, even got a little, I don't know, that dirt or whatever y'all got on your faces or whatever, but I see all of that. And also I know that you all being over at Juniper, and I remember baptizing all of you. So both of you are baptized and went from there. I know that you graduated in 2020. So what high school did y'all graduate from?
Garner High School.
Garner High School.
Did y'all both play football, I think?
Yes, sir, we did.
Yeah, we did.
All right. And so is it hard to believe that over 2 years has passed since graduation?
It is. We were just at the YMCA today playing basketball, and we see kids that are still in high school or they're just graduating, and it seems like we were just there, but it's really been a long time, 2-3 years since we've been in high school.
That's crazy. We literally just had this conversation at the Y. Like,
really?
Yeah, because we were talking to some kids, and he was like, yo, I just graduated 6 months ago. You know, me still having a young mindset, you know, Jeff was like, yo, we graduated like almost 2-3 years ago. I'm like, wow, like that's crazy.
And it is, and so, all right, so you graduated in the pandemic. How did that affect your senior year? I mean, did you all even have the prom? Did you have a true graduation? Did y'all even go back to class after March 15th?
No, we didn't go back to class. We didn't have a prom, which was our senior year. And a lot of people didn't go to prom their junior year because they wanted to go senior year, but that pandemic came across, so we didn't have prom. We had a drive-by graduation, which, I mean, like, you still feel that atmosphere, but it's never the same as the building, like everybody being there, your family, tickets, when they're only limited to a car full of 4 people.
Wow.
It was very different during the COVID in our senior year. We just had to adapt to the changes that they made.
Wow. So, okay, everybody told you about high school, you made it through high school, and I guess, you know, as I talk about if I knew then what I know now, what would you say today, as you say you just had that conversation to some youth at the YMCA, what would you say today to yourself if you were able to go back in time to maybe the 9th grade and look at what you've experienced so far? And we're going to talk about what you've experienced, but what would you say? What will your thoughts be?
I'll let you go first on that.
My thought is to my 9th grade. Oh man, wow. Don't limit yourself. Like, a lot of kids go into high school not knowing what they want to do. So it kind of limits them to only living somebody else's dream. Like, don't live nobody else's dream. You know, pay attention. You can always have fun in school. You can laugh, you can joke, but pay attention. Get your work done, you know. Help the teachers make their job easier. So if I could go back and tell myself that, I really honestly feel like life might be different. You know, so.
Okay, we're gonna talk about what different look like then. Jeffrey, so what about you?
Just to build off what he said, I would say learning also in high school, there's things and there's memories that you would never be able to get again. So also make sure you make those memories and do those things, but also just to make sure that you remember what the reason why you're there, and to realize that the reason why you're there is for your school and your grades, because once you learn and it seems like, well, why do I need this math, or why do I need this, or why do I need that? I'm never going to use it again. And it may be true, you might not be able to use it again, but you giving 100% effort and getting the grades that you want and that you need to get, makes it a lot easier when it's time to go to that next level and get through those things.
That's one good thing, because just like you said, you give 100%. If you do that and you continuously do that, it builds character.
Yeah.
So you will always want to take that character somewhere else. Somebody's going to notice it somewhere.
So if you were talking to yourself, but also now talking to others, you would say to them, I know it doesn't make sense sometimes, the classes that you got to take, the math, when they say do this, and you really don't want to do it. But if you learn how to do that, then going to help you in the future.
Yeah. If you could do these maths that may not make sense or may not see why you're gonna have to use them in the future, you don't understand what you're doing, but you're really building what he said, that character. And if you could do that, then that means you could do a lot of other things that you would need to do when you later on in your life.
Yeah, like also, if I could say one more thing, I'll tell myself and the youth as well, join stuff. It don't matter what it is. It could be chess club, musical stuff, sports, athletics, like the people that help the athletic people, trainers, join something, because it's a lot of kids who are running from home to school. So it's like when you're going to school, you're not thinking about home. When you join something, you're not at home. A lot of these big time stars, NFL players, people that's famous, rich, they picked up something so they wouldn't be home, and they made it their drive. So I tell myself and the youth that as well.
And I say one more thing as well. Also say, yes, it's good to enjoy your time and the memories, but don't get caught up in the moment. In the moment don't get caught up in the fact that you think that if I don't have this or I get picked on today, then that's the end of my world, that's the end of my life. 3 years down the road, people won't know, people won't care, people won't realize, yes, it's important to you at the moment, and if you want to do certain things, you should do certain things. But don't get caught up in that, I just want to be popular, or I want to do all that, because sometimes you look down the road, the popular kids, you get out of high school, they still trying to live in high school. So you don't really want to get caught up in that moment.
Wow. So, those are big lessons that I think I can understand, but I think that's why we wanted you all to come, because no one could, even if we had said that to you or you were told that, it really would not have maybe made as much sense until you've gone through that. Yeah. All right. So now you're in a pandemic, you may have to make some decisions. You don't have a prom, you have a drive-through graduation. Now you got to make some real decision. Can you talk to me about, was that scary? And what I mean by being scary, was that a time in your life that now all of a sudden, you had this routine from kindergarten to 12th grade. Now all of a sudden it's June 10th. You've graduated and all, and now you got to make the decision. What does that look like?
Well, I'll be honest. It was actually pretty fun. You wake up one day and they say you don't have to go to school for the rest of the year. You say, hey, well, so be it, because you was ready to be done with school anyway. But also, it did start kicking in that, well, yeah, that was your last day 2 weeks ago of your high school career. You'll never be in high school again, and that now is on to next. What's next? You graduated, and it's either going to college or now you got to figure out what you're going to do. And I feel like the real world really hit people very hard during COVID, because they were in lockdown and most people were isolated. So you really had to just think, and you was by yourself. So it was really what you were going to do.
But what you thought? Okay, so you were having fun, because you don't have to go to school at all. But now all of a sudden,
it's like that it was fun, but it's like, yeah, you having fun, but at the end of the day, that thought in the back of your head that says, that last day of school is my last day of childhood. Like, this is where adulting come in, because a lot of people may go off to college, the military, regular, doing what they're doing in life, but it's like you have bills now. Like, adulting it's gonna kick your behind if you're not ready for it. So everybody got that thought because nobody wants to live with that thought. Oh, I'm staying with my parents for the rest of my life. So that thought kind of kicks in. So
and it gets serious.
Yeah.
And then I'm quite sure your parents have that, or your dad have that conversation with you, and it's like
that's when it get real.
Right. Like, what you gonna do next?
It's like you got that summertime, because the summertime. That's why we say it's fun.
Right.
Because like just like me and all the boys, you say this our last summer together. So it's like that summertime is fun. But once August start coming around, it start getting real. Those conversations are had.
Now you all talked about at high school. Have you all found, and maybe I'm wrong, that once you graduate from high school, 90% of the people, unless you bump into them in the mall or see them at the mall or whatever, now you can keep up with social media, but actually seeing them, do you ever see them other than your football players and you all being friends and getting together, do y'all ever see a lot of those people from high school?
No. I said like this. Somebody asked me, they was like, well, how it's going to be with my friends and all this, who I'm going to see, you say, if you don't hang out with them outside of school or you don't go over their house or something like that, then you probably never see them again, honestly. It's a lot of people I've never seen since I graduated or since that day. And the only people I really see is the people that we were friends outside of school.
Yeah, I mean, just like what he said, it's different because the people in school popularity, you thinking like, after I get out, I'm still gonna be that man. But it's like, if you really go back and people really pay attention to it, like he said, and people that you only hung out with outside of school, 9 times out of 10 is gonna be those people that you still hang out with after school.
Wow. So what have you been up to? So it's now summer is over with. You got to make some decisions. So, Ant, what decisions did you make, and what have you been up to?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. It took me a little minute after school. I was working a job. Paying bills. Helping my moms and stuff like that. But like going through that, it just was like, this is not the lifestyle I want to live, because I'm only spiraling down, and I didn't want to constantly work a 9 to 5. So I got up with my dad and. I joined the military. So military.
You what branch?
I joined the Navy.
Okay.
Yeah, I joined the Navy, but
thank you for your service.
Thank you. It was a drastic change.
Okay.
Like,
tell me about that. No sleeping in probably anymore.
Yeah. Nah, that's really real. It's just I was so used to being a kid and looking to my mom, my dad, having my siblings around, always being around my friends, to being fully separated from home.
Wow.
With communication on their time.
Wow.
So it's just like you go off to boot camp.
Where did you go, by the way?
Oh, I went to, good gracious, Chicago. And that's really a windy city. I ain't gonna, the winds are real there. But yeah, boot camp, at first it don't feel real when you get there. Cause it's like, all right, it's just this. But that first day and those 3, division commanders walk in, and they get real. It changes you. Like it changes your mental state. It builds your mental state. A lot of people aren't strong enough to make it through. Which the military not for everybody. It's only 1% of the world that joins it. But if you stick around, it builds your character. It builds morality. It builds that within yourself to, want to make you want to keep driving, to never quit, to always grow. So, I mean, it was a different experience, not being around my family, but having people around me and going through all that stuff with together, it kind of made us family. So it took my mind off that, but it hit hard though. It was some days I was in there ready to ball up, start crying, but.
Not you, man.
Oh, nah, me. Yeah, me. Yeah, me. Nah, that was real. I was like, dang, man, I miss my mom. They got us in here eating cold turkey sandwiches, man. It was hard, man. It was hard, but I don't regret it. I wouldn't take it back for the world.
Got it. Jefferson, what decision? It's summer now and it's over. What decision did you make?
The decision I made was to go to Coastal Carolina and get my 4-year degree. it was very different, and I was ready to go, but in the back of my head there was still nervousness because I'm going out of state. My whole life I've been the most as much as I want to say I was down to be on my own, or I've been cared for. I had somebody there for me if I needed something, just like Ant said. But when you go out of state, you're on your own. You got to make your own decisions, and it's not, when you go to college, it's not you have to go to school, or you have to be there, or you have to go to class or anything like that. It's on you now. If you don't have that will yourself, then you're not going to do it. I had, from my personal experience, my freshman year, I had 8 roommates, and out of that 8, 2 came back the next year. So it was, people get caught up in, and they didn't have that will for themselves that they want to actually go to school or doing something like that. So it really makes you figure out who you are as a person.
Now, both of you all have different experiences, but do you think playing football, did that play a part at all in sports and all? The mental toughness is what I'm asking.
I would say that did play a part. I would say that it played a part in knowing your limits. You know that you could do a lot more than what most people can, because all your years of playing football, you've been pushing yourself, you've been working everything, trying to put everything into that sport. So you know that if you really put that effort in, that you could really do something.
Okay.
I say football, it's like I say it had a lot to do with mental stuff, because it's like you're not gonna win every game, you're not gonna make every tackle, but it's like it's something in your mind that tells you to never quit, to make that next play, because that next play can determine the game. The play after that could determine the game. So it's just like I think it helped, because like I said, a lot of people quit boot camp that's off of mental stuff. So it's like once you build that mental mindset of never quitting, it'll take you very far in life.
Got it. So now you've made a decision, and you made a decision in Navy. Jeffrey, you made a decision to go into Coastal Carolina, and now a year has gone. So I take you down from 2020 to 2021. You're a year into all of this. What is life like then? What is life like in 2021? A year out, you've seen another class graduate. Where are you mentally? Where are you?
I would say after that first year of college, it really showed me that this is a place where you gotta have it for yourself, and you gotta really want it for yourself. I ended up joining a fraternity.
What fraternity?
The best fraternity in the world.
Okay, I just
Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's good. that there, blue. Yeah. So you became legacy and all.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. and going with that and making brothers there, because when I went to Coastal Carolina, I really I didn't know anybody. I didn't have anybody from my high school or anybody that I've had information with. I did have my roommates that I met, and we were talking there, but to really have brothers that understood what you come from and everything, and that really helped you. It really helped me understand how to get into the rhythm and try to get into the way of in the college life and adapting with the COVID switching and stuff like that as well.
And how about you? You're in 2021 now. You're a year into it. You're in the Navy. You left from Chicago, I'm assuming. And where did you get stationed after that?
I got stationed in Virginia.
Okay.
It's not a bad place, but it's not the best place neither. So
They would say 757.
yeah, 757.
757.
It's nice depending on where you at. But one thing I could say 2021 really taught me, everybody not your friend.
Okay.
Like, always keep an open and willing spirit, to be around people, to help people, to always want to be there for people. But do know when it comes down to the gridiron, it's you. It's you and only you, because at the end of the day, when it's them and only them. Always never be, like never be cold shouldered to people, because you never know what they need or what they could do for you in return. It's not always what they could do for you, but it's just be wise in what you do and your decisions that you make, because it could put you in one decision can change your life.
So basically, and that go across the I guess the line of whether you're in military or whether you're in college, because as you said, many they started boot camp or even they got in the Navy, but then they're out already because of sometime one decision. Same thing in college. If eight roommates, only 2 came back, which is unbelievable. Now 2022 has come. So we're now where we thought COVID is over with. It's still here with us. What was 22 like? What was 22 like?
22 was like the finding year.
Okay.
Because it's like the first year is rough, you're learning, you're experiencing. And it's like that second year, it's like, wow, like I've seen all this. But now I'm finding myself. Like I'm learning new things about myself. I'm trying new things. I'm not going back and, reaching for mom and dad. I'll call them, if I ever need some help. But for the most part, it's learning to adapt and grow on my own.
Okay.
So that's really where.
So now it's like you've been thrust out there.
Yeah. It's like you out here. It's like, yeah, your first year was rough, but it's like now it's time to really like grow up.
Okay. Because
the first year you still stuck between, I miss home, but I'm out here already. So it's like, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be like puzzles you run into, barricades, blocks. But then, you get past that, it only opens your eyes. It makes you want to keep going. Like, okay, now I want to do this for myself.
Got it.
So that's what I got.
Jeffrey, how about you? What, 22?
I said 22. You go, for me, going in 2022 was my junior year. So I feel like for me, it was really, my sophomore and junior year, I feel like it starts kicking in that, well, I only got one or 2 more years here and I'm out in the real world, and I got to have a plan, first of all, what I want to do after I get out of college and where I want to live or anything like that. But also the school starts ramping up. It's no longer your prerequisite classes where you might be able to take like a yoga class or something that you might need for your physical therapy, for your physical education part or something like that. Now you're getting straight into your major classes. So everything is very, very more time consuming. It's a lot more time that you have to put into it. It's a lot more research you have to go do. And it's also, now it's getting into, you're not living on, I chose not to live on campus. So now it's like, you gotta figure out how you're gonna pay for how you're gonna live or where you're gonna live at. So
I mean, your parents ain't paying for that.
No. So now you gotta figure out where you're gonna live, how you're gonna live, what you're gonna eat. It really starts ramping up to the part where it starts getting serious. But also you have to have that mindset where you're also looking into the future, because in the blink of an eye, you think you look around, you be like, I was just a freshman the other day. I felt like I was just coming into college. But now it's like, if that went by so fast, these last 2 years gonna go by just as fast, and then I'm gonna be out in the real world and I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do.
So old expression I've always heard is, the older you get, time goes faster.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I heard one as well. My dad always tell me, time waits for no man.
Yeah. That's it. And it makes more sense now.
Yeah, trust me, because there's no way I've almost been in the Navy for 2 years.
Right.
Fast.
Right. Right. So I guess my question now is, anything that you think that could have, not that you would have changed anything, but let me ask, would there be anything that you all would have changed now that you're in 2022 and about to go into 2023, as we go into 2023? Is there anything that you would have adjusted in high school or to now?
No.
Okay.
Not one bit. And I'm only saying this because this is me. You know, talking to the youth, I want to change them ahead of time, because, like, you could miss the obstacles that I face. But for me, I feel like that was my journey. Like, these are the lessons that I needed to learn in life that my parents couldn't teach me.
Okay.
So I would never, I don't regret anything. You know, some things I look back and be like, okay, you know, I was tripping, I was messed up. But it's like, I'll never change anything. Because I feel like if I would have made an adjustment, I wouldn't have the friends that I have today. Or I wouldn't be where I am today. So I wouldn't change anything.
Okay. Got it. Jeffrey, how about you?
Just like you said, you get to the point where you don't really want to go back in the past and say that I would have changed anything or I would have did anything like that, because all your experiences and everything that you have done made you that person that you are today. But that's not saying that if you're in that situation now, going through high school, that you shouldn't be trying to strive for the things that we said earlier or try to get those grades or try to do that. That's not the point we're trying to say. But we're just trying to say for us now that the things and the choices that we've made us the people that we are today.
Got it. It's 2023 now. What do you think?
I can't wait. I wonder what's up next.
Okay.
It's really all I look forward to. It's like, just like Jeff said, I look forward to the future. That's what I'm aiming for. That's what I'm looking for. You know, it's a lot of stuff that I got planned for myself. You know, I went differently about things. Like 2023, I'm gonna hit hard, cause like I know what I want to do. I know where I want to be in life. So it's like those things that I put down for myself that I'm aiming for, I'm gonna attack and I'm gonna go get. So that's it.
So you're gonna be pursuit, but you in hot pursuit.
Yeah.
Hot pursuit. Okay.
I'm like Little Caesar's Pizza, you know, hot ready. I'm ready.
I got you. How about you, Jeffrey? 2023, what is it look like?
2023, I'm very excited for. I met this man that also gave me a scholarship to go to Coastal Carolina, and he told me this thing going into my freshman year of college that has always stuck by me. He said, because he knew my sister ran track and he tried to relate track with any things like me. He said life is just like a track race. He said it's going to be, a track race with hurdles. He said that life is going to be a track race. You're going to have to get over your hurdle. Maybe sometimes you have to crawl over the hurdle, or you might have to go back and try to hurdle again, or you might have to do anything to get over that hurdle. But as long as you get over that hurdle, that's what really matters, and you keep on running and try to finish the race. So this 2023, I just really want to continue to get over every hurdle and just push myself as far as I can and work as hard as I can to get to the goals that I want to get.
That's one thing somebody said to me. They was just like, it's not what you did or the decision that you made in that position. It's about what you do after it that makes it. So I always live by that, because like whatever, you know, problem or hole I ran into, you know, it's not about, you know, that situation at that moment. It's about what I do after it to make myself. So
Got it.
some good stuff.
I started off, as we draw this to a conclusion, I started off talking about I baptized both of you. Almost a whole Garner football team, all the friends and all. I think it was like 6 or 7 of y'all at one time came, and I baptized y'all on the Sunday, which I thought, wow, here's a whole football team, and I'm going to try to interview them and just see where they're at, and I know they're at different places. We're very proud. But how has that played into you, church? And where you are and where you need to be at and what would be your comment? You know, we talk real. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
What are y'all thoughts?
Really? Like real thoughts. Before, like all the, you know, the church and all that, I wasn't going to church.
Okay.
I ain't really too much believe in God, you know, until I ran into some people. You know, I ran into Tom, and then, you know, my dad, he started going to y'all church, and it was just like, you know, being friends with Jeff, and then having somebody like, people like Miss Renee, you yourself, it was kind of like these people care for me with God. Not just care for me alone, but they care for me with God. They brought me into a home, their sanctuary, you know, their house, their church, and y'all constantly pray over us. Y'all constantly, like, yeah, nobody asked y'all to do that. I didn't have to ask you to do that. I didn't feel like it was forced. It just came like naturally. Just like I said, I don't regret anything I did because I met Jeff. And through Jeff, I met you guys. So y'all changed my life drastically. Like, y'all, I've never ever been this big of a believer. I've never took time to go read. I've never took time to ever think that church would change me. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It just changed me. Just having that group of people around you that are always, you know, happy, and they might not know what they see or where they're going, but they had that faith because of one person. You know, and it amazes me, and it always amazed me. So I always stuck by that. So I kept coming.
And we're happy most of the time, unless there's some days
It's always some days, but it's like, y'all say that so much. Y'all be like, it be some days, but I swear, every day is those days. Y'all always smiling. Y'all always willing to give. Y'all always willing to help. And it's like, this is your day. Like, you're telling me it's one of those days today, but I see you helping somebody. So it's like, you never let that day stop you. Like, you never let that day determine, you know, it's one thing this one dude said, your altitude determines your attitude, or your attitude determines your altitude. So it's like, you got a bad attitude, altitude going down. You got a good attitude, it's going up. But no matter how bad your day was, you always just like, always was there. So that's how it changed me.
And Jeffrey was almost forced to go to church all the time. So, you know, what do you think? How's that going?
I had a little different perspective, but for me, I would say, just like any house, the most important part is your foundation. And I feel like the foundation that was set for me and that I got through God and going to church and learning and the Bible reading and all that set a foundation for me. You don't really realize it being around, and in high school you kind of do, but then once you go on your own and you go to college, you realize that a lot of people are missing that foundation, and a lot of people don't have that foundation, that when things get hard, they have things to, or when things get hard or things going good or anything, when you have that foundation, it makes life a lot easier. It makes you able to realize why you're doing it. There's a lot of people that go out there and they get lost. They really honestly get lost. They lose what they believe in. They lose everything that they stood for before college or before they even anything, what their parents have taught them or anything, they lose it. But for me, that foundation, and anytime I felt like things were going out crazy or out of whack or anything like that, I just knew that I could always count on my foundation. I always knew that I could always, every time anything was wrong or I felt like I was, like one bad thing was happening after another, I just knew my foundation was strong, and I knew I could always count on him because he was always there for me when I was young, and he's always there for me now.
Wow. So, man, it's been real talking to you all. Any last things that you would want to say to yourself or to others?
Never give up. No matter the outcome, the circumstance, how bad it looked, never give up. The tongue is the most powerful thing on the human body. Speak what you want to happen. Always speak what you want to happen. Always have a happy mindset. Always keep going. It might be days that some things that happen in high school, you know, but keep going. If you keep going, that's what separates you from other people. So be different. Be yourself. Be yourself. Don't be nobody else. Be yourself. That's the best way to learn yourself, the fastest way, the quickest way. So just be yourself. Never give up. Stay focused. That's it.
I'll say, my thing I would say is, it might not be the thing that you want to do, or it could be, well, to pass the test, you can get a 70 or you get a 60, or if you really want to pass the test, I say don't put yourself in a category of average, because if you don't want to have an average lifestyle and you want to be a great person and you want to get all the things that you dream for, average people don't do that. Average people, they are average people and they live average things and do average stuff. But if you want to be a great person, you want to get everything you dream for, shoot for the moon. And if you don't hit the moon, you might land against the stars. But if you shoot and you you want to always get to the highest point and you always want to get to the highest score, then you want to push yourself to that level, you always do better than what you expected to.
That's real. I like that.
Right, I might preach on that one day.
That
But
was
anyway,
good, right?
I guess I just want to say, did y'all ever both think, we didn't talk about, Jeffrey, you been in the National Guard, did y'all ever think both of y'all be in the military?
No. Whoa, no.
That's gonna be sequel 2. We'll talk about how sometimes in life you go down a direction and a path that you never would think. Well, I had Ant here and Jeffrey here, and we've just been talking about if I knew then what I know now, and you've heard it just directly from them. I look forward to talking to you all soon. I'll see you next time.